guys, well, welcome to my channel. My name is Miguel Rivera. I am in the midst of putting together a mining rig to mine cryptocurrency. What you're about to see is the footage I've captured during my assembly of it, and I will try my best to do as much explanation on how to set up this mining rig, how to acquire it, the challenges I might end up with it, and the programs that I'm using right now to run the crypto mining. So if you have any questions, you leave them in the comments below. This is just a rundown of what I did. In no way does it mean that I'm an expert. As a matter of fact, I'm very amateurish with this, but I'll just show you my exercise and my results. Okay, so I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so this is the mining rig that I'm currently using. You can find it on Amazon. I'll leave a link below. Okay, so the mining rig comes with everything you need except a power supply. This is the first one I bought for it. You'll see that I opted for a different model later, not because it didn't work, but because this one is loud. More on that later. This is the power supply I decided to use instead. This model is notorious for being very quiet and will give the same performance as the other supply.
When wiring this mining rig, it does not come with instructions on how to do so. The power supply inputs are really all here. In some cases, they tell you to hook up through here, but the power supply really goes here. If you look straight into the description, it's kind of hard to see. If you look at if you look very carefully, you'll notice that it says power in 5, power in 6, and so on. That means that these are all the power input connections. So your power supply literally should be connected from here to these directly. Okay? Unlike what the popular description on the manuals or their videos says to hook up a couple here and there, this board was designed to have all the power supplies here. They go through the board and uses protection circuits throughout the board to distribute power equally. And it does surge protection. I believe it does quite a few things. So, then these connections here are literally your outputs. And if you look at the connection reading here, you'll see that it says power out. So obviously power in means it goes from power supply to here. Power out means it goes out from there. People were making mistakes about using this and plugging your power supply straight to here. Now, it might be that they're daisy chained. It might be that it's a common connection. However, the biggest problem is that you will probably get your rig to run, but it won't be running at 100% peak efficiency, and it runs the risk of powering down, having a hiccups in power or surge. If there's a surge problem, they're not protected. And then these connections, which come with the rig, go straight into your GPU card as they see fit. So you have one for each one here, all the way through 8. This holds 8 GPUs. Moreover, there is also this one has a 10 plug output, so 8 of them go here. Then the last 2, one of them, number 9, goes here to this distribution node, which is a fan distribution controller card. It controls all 8 fans. You have all the connections here for these fans, and then you also have them from here. You see that the wires are running down through here, and they go straight into the rig, right into the controller board. So this power supply, one plug, is just dedicated to that. That leaves plug number 10 pretty much unused. That is it. That's pretty much the whole thing. So right now this rig is wired to run. I have no GPU installed at the moment, although this does have, according to the manual, it has a built-in video. It does have an HDMI output, so that implies that it has a video. I already have the solid-state hard drive in there. And so it does not come with an OS. It does not come with Windows installed or anything like that. So I'm going to be creating a bootable USB drive, and I'm going to install Windows into here. But I'm going to try the Windows one for sure. There are some other settings that you have to go through the BIOS to, like any motherboard, to make it recognize multiple GPU card outputs, and I'll be investigating that. So hopefully that'll be a video for another time.
Okay, so once you have Windows installed and your video drivers are installed and working properly, you are now ready to download and install Cryptex. This is what the page looks like. I'll leave a link below. This software, once installed, will ask you to run a benchmark in order to see which cards you have and how best to use them in mining. I'll probably make another video with more details about this.
It's been running pretty much since February, since the end of February. And I'm going to show you now what I have, where the fixture or the rig is set up as of today. Okay, but first I want to show you what I currently have, right? You can see in the video here, in the footage, I currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 NVIDIA GTX 1070s, and my son had given me a 1050 Ti that he had laying around the house. So all of these are right now running crypto mining, and these are the millihash or the mega hash each one produce. The bottom line is that these cards are all running full throttle. This particular one, with all these being put together, is going to produce about $158 per month, and that number will vary depending on the cost of crypto, how much Bitcoin is priced at. So when the prices, right now the prices are low, like about 38,000 per Bitcoin, so this is equivalent to that price. When the Bitcoin goes higher, this will produce more per month. So this is pretty much based on the price of crypto. In any case, this is how much it'll make per month. I just finished cashing out what I had 3 days ago, and currently this rig is making about $5 a day. And so far it's been close to 3 days, it's almost $15 in. So by the end of the month, it should be about 150 or more if I include my other card that's on my computer upstairs. Alright? Okay, so you see that the card here, the rig here is running on one, this is the 10, these are all 1070s. This just happens to be a different brand of 1070, but they're all GeForce 10X 1070s, GTX 1070s. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are 1070s, and this is the 1050. The 1050, because it's smaller, doesn't have need of power supply input from the top. It doesn't require it, which is probably why you can't see the amount of wattage it produces. We know it's consuming power, you just can't read it from here. Alright, as I was saying before, you have your power supply hooked up. It's kind of hard to see from here, but you can see the power supply's input is hooked up through here, and then all the outputs are hooked up through here, and they go right from there to your cards here. I had to change the power supply to this one. It's an LX1800. I'll put a link to it in the description of the video. So this one, as you can hear or not hear, it's very silent comparatively. What you're hearing is mostly the fans running here, but this one's, comparatively speaking, very silent. The other power supply that you saw in the previous video is extremely noisy. It has maybe a tad bit more power, but it's not worth it because the amount of noise is so loud. You can hear it throughout the house. So if you don't have a problem with noise, really any power supply will do as long as you have enough wattage. This one's at 1800 watts, and I'll tell you right now, currently this is consuming about 870 watts roughly based on the cards that I have. So I anticipate with the 3 other cards is going to be easily over maybe 1200 watts running consistently. Okay, so there's enough power to support this entire rig and then some. But you use a power supply, hook up, and run the entire mining rig. Once the mining rig is up and running, it's a matter of just setting up the software, and all you have to do really is just download the Cryptix, and I'll show you that maybe in another video or in the same one. Now, once you have installed Windows, what you really want to do, and I'm going to bring up Task Manager here, what you want to do is you want to install, obviously, the software, the driver. And nowadays the drivers are set up so you only download one driver for all the modules. It's going to be an NVIDIA driver for the GTX and RTX systems. You can actually have both. There's a way of putting more than one type of video card that's 2 different brands between Radeon and NVIDIA. It just requires a little bit more finesse on how to set it up so it recognizes both drivers. Anyway, right now I only have NVIDIA, and I would recommend that you just use the same model. You know, so if you're going to use 1070s, use 1070s. You're going to use NVIDIAs, use all NVIDIAs. The model differences are not that much, but I would recommend just stay with the same model. I just happen to have a slot to throw this in, so why not make it work, right? You'll notice that it is running all the GeForce drivers here, 1070s and the 1050 Ti. This is the Intel built-in graphics that's part of the motherboard. So as long as your display adapter shows all the cards on your motherboard as showing and it has running and it's okay, it's working fine, then you should be able to run this. This program eventually needs to be run. There's a small amount of work to be done. There's a benchmark you have to run. It runs all the video cards through a benchmark process, and it then determines how much it can work on and hash out. Currently, like I said, it's not fully populated with only 5 cards and an additional 6, if you will. I'm making about $158 per month on this rig alone. When this card is done, when this mining rig is finished, I anticipate being about $230 roughly per month on this one rig alone. Not bad. So yeah, this is the current condition of the mining rig. It's been running pretty much non-stop since February. I've been adding a card every other week as I can afford it. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at, and my intention is to make this room into the mining room. I'll be putting my mining rig on that shelf eventually as soon as I move it here, and I'll have space to put another mining rig on top of it, maybe a third one down here, and then I'll be buying more shelves and buying more rigs as I go. All right? Okay, so this is currently the GPU I'm targeting for this rig, a GTX 1070 8GB video card. If you buy used, I was able to get them for about $350 each. A new one could be priced at about $800. As a startup hobby, I would recommend you save money where you can until you're convinced you want to continue and be more serious about this. A few last words. I'm currently doing this as a hobby. I have a lot more to learn. And as I do, I will try my best to share what I've found. My advice to you would be to look at this more like a hobby and not an alternative means of income, at least not at the beginning. And whatever you make, consider putting some of it aside to reinvest into this mining hardware. I also would advise you to study more upon the subject and seek out other YouTube channels that talk more in detail about this. Until next time, have fun mining.